Is Canggu really New Moscow? And foreigners performing strange rituals. Stay tuned for details and more. Welcome to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is May 17th, 2024, and my name is Bruce. What is the weather like today? Well, it is really windy, 14.7 kilometers per hour, and the temperature is 31.1 degrees Celsius, and the humidity is 63%. Overall, a pretty nice day, sunny, and it does look like the rainy season is over, at least up here in the north. And so today, a lot of stuff about foreigners. But first, if you are on the island or are going to be here in the next few days, beware of traffic problems down in the south with the World Water Forum taking place down in Nusa Dua. And I saw that there's so many people that there's no room in Nusa Dua anymore, and so people are taking places in Canggu, hotel rooms in Canggu, not Canggu, in Sanur, sorry. And so could be a lot of problems, and so just be aware of that if you are driving around the island. And dengue. Dengue is getting worse. More and more reports about dengue in all of the different regencies in the island. And well, we went to the doctor the other day, not the hospital. We went to the doctor the other day with my granddaughter who's had a high fever. And, well, she's a little better today. Temperature is down, but it was packed. There were almost 100 people at the doctor's office. It was crazy. A lot of people sick up here. So beware of those mosquitoes. Okay, so these two main stories. They're kind of funny. I think they're funny. Obviously, they've upset some people, but not as bad as last week's main story about the drug lab, and I will be doing an update on that a little later. First one is hot. Map of Canggu, Badung village changed to New Moscow. Police will investigate. Dispar has no problem. So Balinese people were shocked by the image of a map of Canggu village, which was labeled New Moscow. The area was previously said to be a Caucasian village in Badung. As is known, Canggu is now an area that is developing in the world of tourism. In fact, many villas and restaurants have sprung up in the area. Well, it's just packed. Foreigners, especially from Russia, Ukraine, and other countries, are also increasingly living in Canggu. The number of Russians in Bali has continued to increase since February 2022, especially since the Russian-Ukrainian war began. For this reason, it's suspected that most of the Canggu area is now inhabited by Russians, giving rise to the term New Moscow. Regarding the emergence of New Moscow map in Canggu, the Bali police will immediately investigate. It will even go down to investigate whether there are any legal violations from the images that are so widespread on social media. The head of public relations of the Bali police admitted that the image of the map of the Canggu with the words New Moscow was all over social media. He said just that after tracing the map of Indonesia, no changes have been made, no changes to the shape of Indonesia, nothing that, it's just that New Moscow is there in place of Canggu. He said, the name of the map is still Canggu. The name on the map is still Canggu. From the initial search, he said, the mention of the name of the area was not found on digital maps on the internet. In fact, he suspects that it's just someone doing some editing for fun. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. We don't know yet, he said. We will coordinate who made it, or was it just for fun? Because the only pictures circulating are pictures, are images. He said that in addition to investigating, that they are also going to collaborate with related agencies to see if any rules have been violated which are causing administrative harm. First, we will see whether there are any legal rules that have been violated or not. If there's violations of the law, we will take action against anyone. But for now, we think it's just people fooling around. But we are still going to coordinate with relevant agencies. According to the Bali Provincial Tourism Office, Pak Pumayun, he said, I don't have any problem with this, it's just a name. He said that the name itself was not a problem. He said, well, you've got Little India Restaurant in Bali, you've got Chinatown in Singapore, so there's no problem naming it as long as everybody is following rules in Indonesia and not violating laws and norms. He said, just like National Javanese Village or Balinese Village and so on, as long as the rules are followed, the local rules, the national rules, and the local community is not disturbed, who cares? He said they also don't know about the activities happening at New Moscow location because they haven't checked. But they are going to go down and find out if some illegal activities are taking place there. And Pak Pumayun emphasized that if there's no negative activity, okay, he said, we will check on the activities down there and inform you later. So this little change, putting New Moscow on some map that has gone viral, has got people upset. And the coordinating minister, Pak Luhut, has, of course, had something to say about this. Viral image of New Moscow map in Canggu, Bali. Coordinating minister, Pak Luhut, let's not be ruled by foreigners. The coordinating minister for Maritime Affairs and Investment said, in response to this image of Canggu being called New Moscow, he said, we need investors in Indonesia, but we don't want to let them control us. He said, yesterday I spoke with the Minister of Law and Human Rights. Later we will have a meeting discussing foreigners who use investor visas but are misusing them. And we will just deport people who cause trouble and all kinds of things. And then we will ban them from entering Indonesia. He said if foreign tourist visits decrease to Indonesia, it won't be a problem. In fact, those who come will probably feel safer if fewer people come. Okay, I'm for that, actually. He said, yesterday in Canggu, a drug factory was discovered. We can't do these things half-heartedly. We have to be firm. He added that from the results of the World Bank survey, security issues are very important for potential investors who want to invest in Indonesia. With the existence of a place called New Moscow, netizens are worried that Russians will colonize and control Bali. And so people riled up about this. We've got Pak Luhut even commenting on this. Okay, and so let's go on to strange rituals. Okay, and so what about these strange rituals? Viral video. Caucasian initiator in Ubud leaves Indonesia. Denpasar Immigration will call guarantor. So the head of immigration in Denpasar said his party immediately dispatched an intelligence and enforcement team into the field and coordinated with the Gianyar police in order to collect information material to get facts related to the viral news on social media regarding inappropriate and deviant acts committed by a group of foreign nationals in Ubud some time ago. He said, we have obtained the identity of one of the foreign nationals in the video. We've checked our database and the foreigner is currently not in Indonesia territory. Apparently, he left on April 22nd, 2024. And so he said we can conclude at this time that the viral video is an old one. His party, however, will send a letter of summons to the guarantor sponsor of the foreign national in the near future. He said, we did ask for information from the sponsor because, after all, they have a responsibility for the foreign nationals that they guaranteed during their presence in Indonesia. He emphasized that his party remains fully committed to monitoring and taking action against foreigners in Bali as mandated in Law Number 6, 2011 concerning immigration, especially to maintain security and a good climate in Bali. As reported, the social media world was shocked by the deviant behavior of this group of foreigners. They created a strange ritual which was allegedly carried out in Ubud. Always a place for strange rituals. This group of misguided foreigners illustrates that this is what everyday life is like in Ubud. As shown in the video, there are crowding activities involving indecent acts of hugging, touching, and kissing body parts of the opposite sex. This video caused unrest among the Balinese people and went viral. This viral video also received attention from police and immigration authorities. Head of public relations of the Bali police said the originator of the activity is known to be a foreigner from India. This case was previously investigated by the Gianyar Police Criminal Investigation Unit and it was found that the perpetrators and participants were foreigners. The activity was also allegedly carried out without permission and without the knowledge of the location owner. The owner of the location said he wasn't aware that there was any heretical activity at his place. The crime scene is thought to have moved around in the Ubud area and is suspected in several other locations as well. So strange rituals of hugging, touching, and kissing people of the opposite sex. So, well, has people upset. And like with the map, ministers have gotten involved in this, national level ministers as well. And who else but Pak Sandiaga Uno, Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, will follow up on foreigners who perform strange rituals in Bali, damaging the image of tourism. Pak Sandiaga said he would take action against foreigners carrying out strange rituals in Bali if the truth was proven. He said he has not received any latest information regarding the actions of foreigners in Ubud who perform these strange rituals. He said, we're currently investigating, but there's been no update to today, but we are very, very disturbed. We will make sure that we follow up so as not to have tourism damaged, the image of tourism, of course, damaged here. Pak Sandiaga conveyed information from immigration that the foreigner had left Bali already, as I mentioned. He added that this activity had no involvement from the local community, and the Bendesa in Ubud also did not know where it happened because it hasn't been traced up until now, the actual place where they were doing all of these strange rituals. So he said, we're doing an in-depth investigation. He added that he hoped the community will play an active role in maintaining quality tourism so that incidents like this do not happen again in the future. They happen over and over again, and they're going to continue to happen over and over again. And so there's always going to be something to amuse people. With the involvement of the local community, we hope to ensure that tourism in Bali and throughout Indonesia is quality and sustainable. As Balinese Taksu, Balinese customs, we continue to ensure that they serve as guidelines in our travel activities. So more bules behaving badly. Here's an update on the drug factory that I was talking about last video. Villa manager didn't know there was a drug factory. The attorney for the villa that was used as a drug factory revealed that the suspects specifically asked the contractor to build the rented villa to suit the concept they wanted, including a basement that was used as a clandestine laboratory so that police could not detect their signals. The villa manager emphasized that they were not involved in this at all. The attorney for PT Sunny Development Group and PT Dreamhouse Management stated that the villa was not involved in the drug factory case at all. He said the villa that was misused was specifically designed at the result of the suspects. Instead of a pool, they wanted to put a basement in. He said most places have a swimming pool, but this time they asked for a basement. And the tenant argued that the basement would be used as a gym and mini cinema for his family. Therefore, the developer and the contractor didn't suspect anything. He said renters are given the freedom to manage villa units themselves because foreign business want to be run with great privacy. During the raid operation, the police managed to identify 6 suspects consisting of 4 Ukrainian citizens, the twins, as I mentioned last time, along with 2 others, and a Russian citizen and an Indonesian citizen. 2 are still at large and are being chased by the police. Director of Narcotics Crime revealed that the basement of the village was designed to avoid signal detection, making tracking difficult for the authorities. He said it's an underground basement, and so the signal cannot be detected, so they can't trace the cell phone numbers. Meanwhile, the head of the Criminal Investigation Unit of the National Police said that the raid of the village netted 9.8 kilograms of hydroponic marijuana, 437 grams of meth, as well as 520 kilograms of precursor chemicals for making meth and for growing pot. He said apart from that, various drug manufacturing laboratory equipment was found. Total value of the evidence, 11.5 billion rupiah. So this is, of course, a big story and is continuing on. There's still got 2 more suspects that they're chasing around. Whether they're on the island or not is not known at this time. And how about something related to those of us who have BPJS, the National Health Insurance, or for those of you who have a business here or who have employees and you are contributing to their BPJS, this relates to you. Ministry of Health reveals potential increase in BPJS contributions. The Ministry of Health has been outspoken about possible changes to BPJS health participant contributions after the standard inpatient class, CHRIS, is officially implemented starting June 30th next year. The ministry said that the implementation of CHRIS would automatically improve the quality of inpatient rooms for BPJS health patients. Head of Communications and Public Service Bureau of the Ministry of Health said that future changes in fees will be discussed together with BPJS Health. She said rules regarding the amount of contributions will be contained in a health minister's regulation. However, the discussion will definitely involve BPJS Health as the financial manager of the National Health Insurance, JKN. She emphasized that in CHRIS, the quality of inpatient rooms and beds will be improved. At least the quality is above Class 3 of the current BPJS Health. She gave an example of CHRIS. A maximum of 4 beds will be in one room. Meanwhile, in Class 3 of BPJS Health now, you can have as many as 15 beds in a room. Ibu Nadia claims that CHRIS with a maximum of 4 beds in one room is equivalent to Class 2 of the current situation. She said the government will take into account whether in the future there will be an increase in the fees or not, because the deficit in the BPJS Health cannot happen again. Apart from the option to increase fees, the ministry is also open to opportunities for cross-subsidies between participants after CHRIS is implemented. However, again, this is still a plan, and it will be included later in government calculations. She said, we're looking for the best scenario. On the other hand, the right to get better services, especially for those in Class 3. And so we hope that that becomes more feasible. So currently, there are 3 classes, 1, 2, and 3. 1 being the highest, and that's 150,000 rupiah per month. And then Class 2, I'm not sure how much that is, and then Class 3. So the plan, and they've talked about this, I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, that they were going to have just 1 standard, not 3 standards, and that individuals could pay extra money if they wanted a better class of room. So for example, if you're going to get, with the new CHRIS model, you're going to get 4 beds in a room, you could opt to get, I say, VIP treatment like I've had. I've been hospitalized a couple of times here over at Kerto Sada, not far from here. And I've had the VVIP room one time when I had dengue, and the VIP room a different time. And so you can add on, you can pay the difference in the fee, the set fee from BPJS, which is free, and then whatever the fee is for having an individual room, or a room with just 2 people, or a room with just 3 people. So those coming next year, and we'll be following up on that because, well, I have BPJS and my whole family does, and so we want to know how that's going to work out. And so far, I've heard some foreigners have had problems with this, but our experience so far has been great. I've been going back and forth to the hospital every month trying to find out about issues related to blood pressure and diabetes and things. I have not paid a rupiah for anything. That's doctor visits and medication. And so that's great. Now, will the fees be increased? My guess is that they will probably try to increase them a little, but I don't know how that's going to help people who are at Class 3 now and paid minimal amount. So we'll have to see how that works out. And that is it for today. It is Friday, and tomorrow we got a big ceremony here. It's the 7-month pregnancy for my son Sam and my daughter-in-law Gamma, and we're going to be having that here in the kampung at the house. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today, or many people if you want. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.